This episode of We Heart Our Lives community contains mature themes. Listeners' discretion is advised. For the purpose of maintaining their confidentiality, names and some identifiable characters have been removed or altered, but their voices and stories are real.
Depression is something that runs in my family. My mother had it, my dad struggled with it, and inevitably I have it here and there. I would say it's more seasonal almost, but I don't really believe that you have depression and then at some points you don't. I think it's there, but it comes in its waves, and sometimes it's very bad and sometimes it's better. So yes, I've experienced depression, anxiety, panic attacks. I've learned how to cope with it that works for myself. And I try and help those around me that struggle with it as well, because I understand how hard it can be. You just can feel like you're in the darkness and you're alone in a lot of things. And I try to project that onto the ones that I love, that they are never alone and I can help them get through it with whatever they need. With suicidal thoughts, yes. I once was going through a very, very hard time, and I thought that that was the only way out of the pain that I was feeling and the struggles that I felt like I just would not be able to overcome. I felt like that would be the easiest way to escape it all, and I wanted to just sleep all the time, and I didn't have a plan of how I would do anything, but I knew that I did not feel comfortable starting another day feeling the way that I was feeling, and that scared me a lot. I just slept all the time, and I never really thought that I would get through it. The pain was unbearable. I can't really put it into words, but I really felt like there was nothing more that I could do, and the thought of not being here anymore just completely took over all of my thoughts and my decisions, and it was a very, very scary thing and a scary mindset to have, especially with the circumstances in my life and the obligations and responsibilities that I had. Of course, that made it worse, but I mean, the things that I had to do were just put on the back burner, and I wasn't really doing anything that would better my situation because I didn't care to. Thankfully, I did reach out for help, because as much as I didn't want to live, I knew that that would be a waste if I had never reached out and I just struggled alone because of the huge amount of people that I have or had and still have around me that were willing to help and willing to listen to me. And even one person, I knew that I had numerous people, and I was so lucky for that. So I reached out to them and I explained to them how I was feeling and how I really didn't feel like I would make it much longer with how dark my thoughts were. And like I said, I didn't have a plan, but even just the thought of not wanting to be alive, that was enough for me to know that I needed to get help to prevent myself from getting to the point that I did have a plan. So after I reached out for help, that's when everything just started to get better, because I luckily had these people around me to take the time to really listen to me and just work through problems and just remind me that there's so much more to life than these dark moments that you have. They're not as big as you think they are in the moment. Of course, they matter so much to you, and you feel like there's nothing else that can happen that's good in your life. You're just completely hopeless. But to be reminded of how many more opportunities that you are going to be given throughout your life definitely wakes you up and just puts things in perspective to how you can have an influence in this life, in this world, and inspire and help others when they're feeling down, because I really just believe that we all need to work as a team and understand that a lot of us have been there. And currently to feel like I guess essentially out of it I'm so grateful that I'm still here and I didn't fall completely into the sadness and the dark thoughts, and I realized how much more I had to come. And unfortunately, I have lost people to suicide. And that came after the fact. I would say I did lose a friend. It's going to be 2 years. And it's a wake-up call, man. It's a wake-up call, because when it's happening to someone that you love, you immediately feel so, destroyed that this person that you loved felt this way. And for me, I can relate to it because I was there. It really just puts it into perspective of how it's never worth it. It's never worth it to give in. There's always help. There's always going to be someone there, even if it's one person that cares and loves you and wants to help you and see you succeed, and they will be there for you. It's just a matter of reaching out. Even if you feel like you don't want to, or you're embarrassed, or you're just don't want to feel like a burden, or whatever the case may be. I mean, for me, seeing friends of mine and, it's heartbreaking. And we're all in this together. I think that my motivation now is I'm in nursing school, and at the time that I felt the most dark moments in my life, I wasn't working, I wasn't going to school, I would sleep all day long. I really had no motivation to do anything, to get out of bed, to take a shower, to clean up my clothes on the floor. I had no motivation. I would just sit and stare at it. And today, I have motivation. I am in nursing school, like I said. I wake up very early. I go to clinical. I am helping save lives, essentially. I'm in school full-time. I also work, part-time somewhere else. And I never really thought that this would be the case. If you had asked me in the dark moments of my life if this is where I would be, I would probably laugh, because I had no hope that I would make it and reach the point to be able to do these things and live out my dreams, because becoming a nurse is something that I've wanted to do for so long. When I felt like I wasn't going to reach that milestone, I felt like I had let myself and so many other people down. And I just think it's important to remember that there are going to be very, very trying times in your life where it's going to be hard. But to know that you're not alone, that's what's helped me get through, and to put things into perspective and understand that it may be hard today, it may be hard tomorrow. Does that mean it's going to be hard next week, next month, next year? No, it means you still will have those hard times, but you have to just learn how to balance it and just cope and understand that we all have our own things. At the end of the day, I look around at people who are going to work and going to wherever they possibly are going. We all have our own stories, and to leave this life that we were given and gifted, I just feel like it's almost hard to put it into words of how important it is to stick through the hardships and really appreciate this life for what it's worth. And you know, I am alive today. I look forward to becoming a nurse. I look forward to spending moments with my family every single day. It doesn't even have to be so far into the future. I mean, I'm thankful for every second that I'm alive, and I'm so happy that I didn't decide to end anything. So that's my input. Thank you.